know I sell rocks. It feels good putting money in your mailbox.
And on Half Steppin', Marcus J. We are back. Thank you for hanging in there with us. We're going to move on, talk about a couple of stories that touched me, touched us, that we saw in the news this week. Some of you may have heard some of these stories. We're going to get into them real quick. So we're asking you tonight, what the hell do you guys think about Trayvon Martin? Trayvon Martin. Now you're wondering who this is. Trayvon Martin was a Florida teen in Sanford, Florida, who was killed, shot and killed, unarmed, shot and killed by the Neighborhood Watch. Black teen shot by a white man in his own neighborhood, coming home from the convenience store after watching halftime of the basketball game that he was watching at home. Now his family wants to know why this man hasn't been charged. The police department is investigating the death and the release of the 911 tapes to explain how exactly he died. Now, his family members are saying that Trayvon Martin of Miami was visiting his father and soon-to-be stepmother last month at the home in a gated community in the Orlando suburb of Sanford. He gone, like I had mentioned to you before, to the convenience store to buy some Skittles, some candy. Was returning home when he was confronted by an armed man who was the head of the local Neighborhood Watch. Now, the man hasn't been charged, and at this point, who knows if he will be. All we know is he happened upon young Mr. Martin, who was unarmed, and felt that he was suspicious. And somehow this unarmed 17-year-old boy who looked suspicious ended up dead at the hands of the somewhat overzealous Neighborhood Watch. Now, there had been reports of Mr. Zimmerman, I believe is his name, George Zimmerman, a 28-year-old, where he had been aggressive in the past, dealing with alleged trespassers or people who looked to be somewhat out of place. I'm guessing because young Trayvon was not from that area. He was just there visiting. Maybe Mr. Zimmerman didn't know who he was. But is that really enough? Is that enough? And let's pick up there. That's where I want to begin the discussion. I'm going to start with Carlton Banks. Carlton Banks, what do you think?
Unless you come in my house, I'm not really supposed to shoot you. So, Trayvon, there's some things that we're still missing, but you need to have that man under house arrest or something whereby he's not fleeing to get away persecution. It's just an outrage. It's a shame. If I was, ready to in that man's neighborhood, I'm picketing his house. I need to do something to bring light to the situation and say, why, oh, why is this man not in jail? Let me shoot you. Let me shoot a child. You're not in my house. Why is he shooting something? He's Neighborhood Watch. He's Neighborhood Watch. He's not in my house. He's supposed to call the cops. He's supposed to call the cops. He's taking something in his own hands. And watch, he'll get off. He'll make up something. I can't say anything else. I can't. You're gonna have me in here ready to put money in the tip jar.
Yeah, so your fist is in the air. You're always talking about me. I see your fist in the air right now, Carl Banks.
Yeah, it is.
Big Rubens, you see his fist in the air.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
power to the people.
Honestly, this dude is preparing to serve some time in jail. I mean, there's no way around this. I mean, you can claim Neighborhood Watch all you want. Last time I checked, you're not a policeman. Last time I checked, you don't really have the right to brandish your firearm in a public location unless, one, you are threatened, and two, you have a reason to be. If the dude's on the street just walking, he feels threatened, and I would really hate to throw any kind of race cars in this because that's just a bad day. But, ultimately, why would you shoot somebody that you don't know? How can you tell he was a African American child? It was nighttime.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, there should be no question behind that. And the fact that municipality has not done anything is just making them look just as stupid.
This happened about 3 weeks ago, and as of recently, because the story is just breaking nationally now.
Of course.
It's just breaking nationally now, and this man hasn't been charged with anything.
I mean, has he even been to a jail?
Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't been charged, which means he probably hasn't been arrested.
I mean, what? First of all, last time I checked, you just can't go out shooting people.
No, I got you. I got you.
And Florida, correct?
We're talking about Florida, outside of Orlando.
Well.
You know, I generally don't like to use the race car unless it's a situation where it's obvious. In this particular case, it's not quite obvious to me yet. I think that as a black man, my sensitivity level is up, you know, because I have been profiled. I have been questioned unnecessarily. So I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't want to make it so that it's immediately a black or white thing. We don't know enough about Mr. Zimmerman to make that kind of proclamation. But what I will say is this. Just because you don't recognize someone doesn't necessarily mean that they don't belong where you happen upon them. Correct. I would like to know what kind of dialogue they had. And I'll be honest with you. If Mr. Martin, young Mr. Martin, is anything like how I was at 17, and you got some dude rolling up on me talking about where you going, what you doing, I'm going to give him some lip. Straight up. Who are you? What you doing in my face? And that's probably what happened. And Zimmerman didn't like it.
Well, unless dude pulled out some sort of weapon, or at least looked like he pulled out a weapon, you have no reason to, one, pull out your weapon and shoot someone, or one, pull out your weapon, and two, shoot someone.
Yeah, I mean, but that goes right there with the abuse of authority that we see all along. There was a story last week of a police officer called to a home, and I don't mean to jump off of one what the hell to another, but police officer called to a home because a 9-year-old boy refuses to go to school. He basically told his mama, I ain't going to school. So instead, so she called police, which is weird because it kind of speaks to the whole spanking thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
She can't control her kid. She can't control her 9-year-old, so she calls the cop. When the cop comes in, he tases the boy. He tases the cop. Tased the 9-year-old. So look, I mean, this sounds like a clear situation where we have some sort of abuse of power, but I don't know what kind of power, we've got, here. We got a caller. We got Hop on the line. Hop, where you calling from?
Chilltown, Jersey City. Oh, actually, Irvington.
What's going on, Hop? Thanks for calling. What you want to get in on?
Abuse of authority? What type of authority my man got? Neighborhood watch.
Nah, I got you. I'm playing devil. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm with you, Hop. I'm with you.
But from what I heard, there appeared to be a scuffle. My man was sweating. He had grass stains on his back. He was bleeding from the head or whatever. So, we don't actually know what has taken place. But I guess that'll come out. The whole truth will come out in some instance.
Right.
But definitely, he pulled out his gun. He shot that man in the chest. He should be arrested for something.
Straight up. I mean, why? Hey, Hop, my question is this. You got a gun, you shot a boy, and you home. I mean, I don't really need to hear no more. Why are you home? What possible reason could there be for them not arresting this man, charging him with something? You know what I mean? Okay, so you don't want to charge him with murder. Okay, I'll play devil's advocate. You don't charge him with murder. But why is he not arrested and charged with something and let a jury of his peers figure it out?
At least be on bail. He's not even on bail.
Hopefully, I think all that will happen in time.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, he should have been arrested on the spot.
My fear, Hop.
And then let the justice system play itself out that way.
Well,
this sounds like vigilante justice, which is illegal. He deserved to be punished.
Absolutely.
So if the situation was reversed, this was the black guy shot a white guy, we already know this black dude would have been in jail.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any question. I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, and there's stories where black kids wild out. There was a story out of the Midwest last week where a couple of black kids walking down the street with a gas can and lighter fluid and all that kind of stuff, looking for somebody to mess with, and they happened upon a white boy, doused him and burned him up. Why? You know what? Them kids need to be buried under the jail, and it don't matter if you black or you white. When you wild out, you got to go straight up.
Yeah, no doubt. All type of illegal activities should be punished. It shouldn't be dependent upon your race.
That's it. Hop, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling. Thanks for the support. Tell people about Ain't No Half Steppin', man. I appreciate it.
I'll do that.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
You too.
He made a good point. I mean, the guy, basically, I want to know why he hasn't been arrested already.
He's probably come up with some type of lame excuse.
Doesn't matter.
And it's still, my thing is this. Was the kid in your house?
No, I got you.
I mean, he's not in your house. What is your fear? Why are you shooting this kid? Oh, I can't stop.
Now,
Y'all gonna get
that was a crazy story. That was a crazy story. But I'm gonna tell you what I think is equally and in some ways even more crazy. This dude in Afghanistan, a father of 2, he has children. Big Rube. This man has children. Served 3 tours in Iraq. His first tour in Afghanistan. Leaves the base at night. Takes his gun with him. And allegedly, goes door to door and starts shooting Afghan civilians. He shoots allegedly 9 children, 3 women, and 4 males, and killed them. And those are the people that died. That's not even counting everybody that allegedly, and I keep using the word allegedly, was shot. Now this is a story I think you kind of have to be, living under a rock the last 48 hours to not have heard about this one, Big Rube.
That's me.
You been under a rock, Big Rube?
Yes, sir.
You have. Okay. Well, assuming I'm giving you that information ice cold, you haven't heard it. Once again, you've got an American serviceman who leaves the base in the middle of the night, takes his gun with him, and he just goes door to door and starts shooting up people, basically kicking indoors and shooting Afghani civilians.
Yep.
I mean,
That's our fault. As the American armed forces, that's our fault. I'm sorry. This dude has served this is his 4th term overseas like that. It should be a maximum of 2, no more than 3. First of all, if this dude went 3 and he was cool, they should have gave this man a free pass.
Yeah. No.
Because first of all, you ain't rolling the dice like that going over there once or twice, but you did 3 and you came back. Man, you should be on land for like 20 years. You should never have to do anything else.
Here's my question. Anybody that knows me knows that I am absolutely a professed conspiracy theorist. I'm not in a position to lay blame on anybody. So that's not what I'm doing. But here's my question. How are you on the other side of the world in a war-torn area, and you are able to wake up in the middle of the night, take your service revolver, and leave the base, and nobody says nothing?
Because they're supposed to be able to have their weapons at them on all time.
Okay, but how are you getting off base in the middle of a war zone and nobody knows you're gone?
Snuck out. That's their job. They can do that.
Yeah,
they're trained to do that.
I don't know that I buy that because if they're trained to do it, then there's people that should be trained to keep them from doing it.
Yeah, hey man, I'm going to get some water. All right, I'm taking my piece with me just in case. I mean, that's probably how it is all the time over there.
It may be, but again, this guy should have been psych eval or something in order to prevent such a scenario. President Obama said there will be a full detailed investigation on it, if I'm not mistaken, and he's looking at this very thoroughly. It is a scary situation. We're not supposed to be over there terrorizing civilians. We're supposed to be over there protecting the peace, trying to bring up an economic retool to the situation. The whole scenario is just scary.
It's crazy because just a few weeks ago we had the Bible burning situation in the same country of Afghanistan, and now this, and obviously Bible burning. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be disrespectful. The Quran burning over there, and that's a big deal.
Yeah,
that's a very big deal. And so we already got bad nerves. They're already sensitive, and now this, and I think that people who are Americans overseas should look over their shoulders a little bit more than they normally would, because at this point there's no telling what may actually happen in retaliation.
Yeah. However, we need to, as a country, we need to sit back and really look. Okay, how many times do we need to send people over there? That sort of thing. And then also, they're trying to reduce the force of military. Why are you trying to reduce the force of military and sending people over there more than 3 times? Obviously, this 4th time he shouldn't have been there.
I got you. We're going to leave it there. Ain't no half Steppin with Marcus J, Big Rube, Calm Banks. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to close the show with our rants, and you don't want to miss this. We got some good stuff for you. Ain't no half Steppin, Marcus J. Be back in a minute.